Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and today's video is just going to be a little reflection over, the past couple months or the past month or so. My top favorite knives. Now, none of these are going to be like pre-order knives or anything like that. These are knives you can actually get right now. Now, first off, I'm going to say that some of these I've had for over a month, but, they're like more of recent carries, things like that, and some of them I recently just got. But I have a couple honorable mentions like the CMB made Knight. The more I have this, the more I mess with it, the more I like it. It is extremely well done. Very comfortable in the hand. The action's really good. I do wish that this little notch out was easier to reverse flick. Now you can reverse flick it like I just did, but I wish it was a little easier. But it is done extremely well. So the CMB made Knight, that's just a quick honorable mention. Now, two more really quick, because one of which you can get, which is the Tactile Bear, USA made by the Tactile Knife Co. Now, this whole package right here, you can get all in one with the pen, the sheath, and the knife, or you can get each one separately. This is a titanium pen. These are very, very well done. Now, these are not always just available, but I think they drop, every couple weeks or so, something like that. So they're still very easy to get in the grand scheme of things. But this one is in Magna Cut, very thin blade stock, beautiful clip point. And yeah, I love it. I love it. Now, one more is one I forgot to throw. I can't believe I forgot this one when I did my gent knife video the other week. This is TRIVISA. Yeah, it comes in a beautiful package. Really nice box. Even the sheath is done extremely well. Now, I was unaware at the time, but this was actually designed by Monterey Bay Knives, but they just didn't wind up doing the deal. TRIVISA wound up going through with it, but this is a modern gent knife, or a modern traditional. We have M390 steel. I love this type of Spanish drop point. Spanish spear point, I think, or maybe it's a Spanish drop point, but beautiful blade shape. Love the swedge, nice and slicey. Beautiful handle with some nice file work in the back. The pull and walk and talk is really nice. Nice gentle pull while still being nice and solid. And it does come in a couple different options, including bone and other blade shapes. So if you're more of the clip point fan, then they do have that. But this one's easy to get open and closed in with one hand. It's very well done. Undeniably well done. Even the sheath, the leather, good quality leather. It's almost full grain leather. I'm not going to go into leather, but it's decent quality. Now, let's get into the list. Some of these I recently just got, but I think it's still a good thing to get into. But let's talk about the CIVIVI button locks. So we have the Conspirator and the Chevrolet, whatever it is, Chevelier. So Chevelier, it's a sheep's foot blade with a button lock. Now, I did recently watch Lefty EDC. He talked about it feeling very cheap. Now, he said compared to this one. Now, I think it's just weight. I think that's the only difference, because they're very, very similar. Mine, the detent, very solid. You only fail it if you, mean to fail it. As long as you break that detent on mine, it's great. Button lock, great action. Lockup, mine is rock solid. And I have two of them that are rock solid. Now, I know some people said that they had a little issues with theirs. I can't speak to that, and that does suck. There are things you can do to improve it pretty easily. Mine took an incredibly sharp edge. I did wind up chipping it all to hell because I cut up a boot. But both of them are great. Really good fit and finish. Good quality. Micarta. Now, this one does feel in hand like a little bit better quality, but it's just because of the weight. the weight has, a lot to do with it. This one's smaller, thinner, less materials, still has weight relieving, the blade's lighter. So it does make it feel a little cheaper. Now that's what I made a point on in yesterday's video, that sometimes it's better to just have a little weight in the knife, because it takes away sometimes even the action, the way the action feels, the way it cuts, the way it feels in the hand when you make it feel so doggone light. And in this case, they have so much weight relieving. Look at that. Look at all that weight relieving. It's almost too much. Now this, because of the size, it feels nice and solid. But when you get to one like this, it's a lot smaller. It winds up becoming a little too light. But both of them, great examples, great knives. I do love this spear point blade shape. I like having the fuller for the reverse flick. Super comfortable in the hand. You can choke up. Mine is rock solid. Again, I only have one example of this one, but mine's super solid, and my detent. Great detent. And if I try to flip it, yeah. Great action. Now, and then with button locks, with any knife, you put on a little weight, then it does feel a little bit more significant. All right, let's get to the next one. Now, the next one is the KIZER GEMINI. This one is the one with the non-deep carry clip. Now, I do have aluminum ones. I got deep carry clip ones with burlap. All of them are great. I don't think you can go wrong with any one of them. This one, for some reason, is just speaking to me, kind of the most, even though the aluminum ones do feel more solid. Again, because of the weight. They have a little weight to it, but they're smaller. This one is a little larger, and it is quite a bit lighter, but I love this micarta. The blue really pops. Non-deep carry clip, so in the hand, it is very comfortable in the hand for such a small knife. Ray Laconico design. The detent. I can't explain it. It is such a good detent on every single one of them. The little ones have a little bit of a stronger detent, but this one, man, just breaking that detent, it flies. You cannot fail this without, putting forth effort to try to fail it. That's how much it fires, or that's how well it fires. Perfectly centered. Great cutter. Cross-cut section or side-cut section. Micarta backspacer. The only one thing is this is N690. I do wish it was 154 cm or 14C, but whatever. It's still a decent steal for the money. Now, all of these videos, I do have longer videos on if you want to see more in-depth content on it. Next, the GAVKO Thresher. Now, I recently got the GAVKO Nurse and the Thresher. Love them both. Love them both, but I have to say that I do like this one a little bit more. I love the reverse flicking action on the Nurse, and it does have a flipper tab as well. The flipper tab's a little large, though, and people recently were telling me how they chopped their flipper tab off, made a choil, and I think that's a really good idea for the Nurse. I'm not saying, that the flipper tab, there's something wrong with it or anything. There's not. It's just a little large for how small the knife is, and by taking that off, you make it just a reverse flicking action knife. Now, with the Thresher, these come in so many different options, and I believe this is the one I'm choosing between all four, because I do have to send them back to KAVISO. Anyways, but USA company, their designer, GAVKO, and then KAVISO, I believe, is a USA company, which is selling the drop knives or selling KAVISO knives. And then they're built overseas. I believe we is the one making these. And they do an incredible job. The detent on every single one I tried was perfection. It has a high quality feel to it. If I could put it into words, you can really feel how refined it is and how well built it is. Great thumb stud action, comfortable in the hand, nice drop shutty action, rock solid, lock up. Just, it is a good knife, and I like that. I like the build quality and all of that good stuff, and it has a unique look to it. That's another thing that kind of pops and stands out. It doesn't look like everything else. Next, the mini roach. Oh man, I had to put this on the list even though I recently got it. The sound in this hollow grind, and that they since they put a hole in it. Listen to this. This thing has such a good sound. And then the hollow ground blade is super thin behind the edge. Beautiful swedge. I love the look of the blade shape. Very comfortable on the hand. Yeah, this is a good one. I love it. The G10 has this honeycomb pattern on it. Now, my black coated one is a little rougher around the edges. I would say if you're trying to decide which one to get, I would get the non-coated blade. I only tried two, so I only tried the coated blade in this one. But from my two examples, the non-coated blade seems to be a little bit better. The D10 is so good on this, but fantastic knife. Next. Now, these two, I'll just pull them both out really quick. We have the, well, you could say the drop knives, but we have the FERUM Forge CRUX. The FERUM Forge CRUX and the Keen. So this is the drop Keen or KAVISO Keen, whatever you want to call it. Ray Laconico design. I love them. I love them both. First off, this thing has some of the best flipping action. The flipper tab, this is such a comfortable flipper tab. The detent is super solid. As soon as you break that detent, oh, it just flies. And it's very simple, a simple design. It looks like a knife. The ergos are very neutral. Has a great weight to it. No milling on the inside, so it has a premium quality feel to it. I do like the FERUM Forge designs a lot. So S35VN, titanium, comes in multiple different options, and yeah, I absolutely love this one. And then the Keen, basically all the same things. The flipper tab is quite a bit different, and the detent is a little bit lighter, but it's still great action, super smooth. Love the spear point blade. The ergos are even better on this one, and it's such a great user. I've been loving carrying this. It's super simple, and I can even reverse flick it. But it's super simple, but that's kind of the beauty of it. That it's, you know, it works as a knife, it looks like a knife, and it feels like really good quality. And like I said, all these I do have longer videos on. Now, let's get to the top three. Top three, here we go. So, we have the KUBEY Momentum. This one has blown me away how good it is. It is so fall shutty. Some of the best. I've said this a lot, and it's because I wind up getting other front flippers, and they wind up kicking the last one's ass. This happens to be one of the best front flipping knives I've ever tried. It's just so good, so fidgety. It's because of the way the pivot is cantered this way, and then this drags down or humps down or whatever, than the way the front flipper is. So when your finger goes over, there's nothing right here in the way. So it's easy to break it and go, and you can even just slow roll it very nicely. Then the thumb studs, again, just great access to them, easy to reverse flick. Great detent. The ergos just melt in your hand, or at least in mine. I love the blade shape, the way it faces towards everything I'm cutting. It's a fantastic user. Carries well. Action's amazing. It's a great fidget knife. Fun to fidget with right or left-handed. So, loving this one a lot. I would love to see this in a premium version. And then, my top two, we have the CMB Predator. CMB Made Knives Predator. This is one of my new favorite knives. It is a budget knife. It is very, very affordable. I seen it on Atlantic Knife for under $50. And then other sites were like $53, $55. It's an access lock, but it has that weight to it that makes it feel very premium. Even when I slow roll it and it locks up, I can feel that click with the bar moving behind the blade, and it is so solid. There's something about an access lock that's rock solid. No play up or down whatsoever. And you can tell that it's not going to get it, at least for a long time, because of how much pressure this bar. This has really strong omegas, so very strong lock bar. And it just snaps in. I love that feeling. Then it doesn't take much because they made it lower on the tang, so you don't have to even pull it down hardly very far at all. Like, you just barely pull this down and it pops out, or, you know, disengages. So it takes nothing to disengage this, even though the omegas are nice and strong. Ergos melt in your hand. The blade shape, love the blade shape. And, you know, I said this before, it reminds me of a TRM. It does. It reminds me a lot of a TRM, the shadow or the neutron or the atom, all of the above. The strength from the lock bar also creates a decent detent for an access lock. And the choil is one of the best sharpening choils a company could do on a flat grind. The plunge grind, look at how far back the plunge grind is. This is something like that you see from Chris Reeve knives. It is way back there. So you have all of this to sharpen off. That's amazing. So yeah, just one of those knives that just, they knocked it out of the park. Even the micarta is really good quality. I wish they would have put flat screws in there. Not a big deal. The clip works great. Yeah, this one's a heavy hitter for me. And the last one, the Hinderer XM18 Skinny. Now, I know there's some controversy going on. I'm not going to get into it in this video because this video will last a while, and, you know, I don't want it, you know, you guys know what I mean. So we'll just get into the knife. Hinderer XM18 Skinny. And this one has the fat carbon fiber. I absolutely love this knife. I love the blade shape. It cuts really good, super comfortable in the hand. I did chip the edge a little bit up here, completely my fault. I did have to round the flipper tab a little bit because it is pokey, but it's not pokey anymore. And the detent is nice and strong. As soon as you break the detent, oh, it kicks. Then you have the thumb stud action. Oop, that was my fault. Which, since the detent is nice and strong, it also works very well. I do have another scale for it, a micarta scale that I will throw on it eventually. This fat carbon looks gorgeous. But USA made, such a well-built knife. It is super solid all the way around. I do like Hinderer's knives. That's why it really kills me what's going on right now between him and Transparent Knives. But like I said, it's not appropriate for this video. But titanium frame lock, all the bells and whistles, steel lock bar insert, overbuilt to the max, even though it is the skinny version. Now, I do have the thicker version. I actually have the multiple different versions, thanks to Mr. Amazing, because he is the one who gifted this knife to me, and it just puts a smile on my face. I love it. I absolutely love it. But yeah, there you guys go. These, oh yeah, by the way, these are difficult to get. Maybe I shouldn't have put it on the list because I did say in the beginning that these are all obtainable and you're able to get them all, and this is obtainable. So it's just they get bought so fast, man, and they're not cheap. So, and that's the way it is with the premium USA made knives. They go so fast, and you know, they can be more difficult to get. But I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.